Hi, my name is Ashley Cifuentes. My standards-based unit project is in mathematics, specifically in multiplication, and my lesson is geared towards fourth grade students. Now, this particular tool that I will be using first is Nearpod, which is fully interactive and digital, which means that students will need access to the internet via some other tool like a Chromebook. And in doing so, they would need to get to Nearpod and access this particular lesson using this code here. By doing so, they are now accessing the same content that I'm showing you on my screen. They would be able to see the same information at my same pace so that we can be fully interactive with each other in their personal tool. Now, in doing so, this lesson is created around multiplication and applying it through real-world settings, which lines up with the student learning outcomes and my rationale that I have for multiplication through accessing it with models and arrays, and along with challenging their depth of knowledge in portraying it in real-world settings. Now, along with this, they can understand their goal and their learning objectives. Upon exploring, we can go ahead and have conversations as a class, and in this case I would be asking them questions such as, what do you see here? What is in this image? How many do you see in this image? If we were to create a number sentence, what operation would you use? And in doing multiplication, what would be our number sentence for multiplication in order to find the product? In my opinion, I would have them have a piece of butcher paper or even their own, but I prefer a piece of butcher paper so that students can see what everybody is writing down on a shared piece of paper. We can have a discussion along with our information with our table mates. They could also have a discussion with their peer that's happened to sit right next to them. Along with this, we can continue on with the lesson to have conversations beyond just our table mates or our partner. We might want to hear from a peer that's across the room. Now, in doing so with Nearpod, you can actually post your answers via this digital corkboard, which if I posted an answer here, then they would be able to see any information that, that each other posts here and be able to think of it analytically and hopefully learn from their classmates. Now, if I obviously can't go through all 25 lessons or slides here, so I'm going to go through just a few of them, but by doing so I want to give you information of some of the things that they would be accessing. So we would want to explore here multiplication at a market square. So now we're using and we're applying this in a real world setting. The exciting thing is that if you have VR goggles, they can actually access this lesson using those, which is really neat. But in this case, then we're using AR mode. And here they would be going into that candy shop, and this would be what they would see, and they can actually fully explore, flip through the store, and actually see everything that's here. And I would ask some questions such as, okay, so we're using multiplication and now we're applying it. How would you apply multiplication in a setting like this? What would be used, or what do you see that could help you use your knowledge in multiplication? And we would be able to apply that and have conversations. Now, further along in the lesson, we would then have a discussion where now they become the teacher. Let them create a word problem in using their knowledge of multiplication, and this would be the image that they would use. And it did direct them to help to create this question with a partner. Now, moving on, after this particular lesson, the assessment tool that I would like to use would be on quizzes. Now, I want to be able to apply what I learned in my learning tool into my assessment tool. And in this case, quizzes is also fully interactive, and they will also need internet access. And they would be playing a game. We can do this whole class setting. They could also take this at home and do it as well. But I would actually prefer to see them answer these questions as a group individually, because they want to play against each other. That's kind of the way this feels. It's almost as if they're playing against each other so they can be on the leaderboard. But really, what they're doing is accessing the information that they've acquired over time, and they're performing at the level that they understand the content. So in this case, what we see here is a game beginning. We would have various questions such as this, so that we see the question, see a picture of necessary, and time has begun to decrease, and the lower it goes, as you see the colors warm up, meaning the less points I will get. So I need to understand arrays and how they work, answer the question correctly. Once I earn my points, then I will see who's earned what points and how much points did they earn, and who's currently up on the leaderboard. And we would continue to answer questions such as this. Earning points, the faster I answer, the more points I get. It's a great tie-in in terms of the lesson that I've provided previously, and further along on this quiz, though I can't skip ahead, there would be things beyond arrays. There would be scenarios such as groups. There would be number lines. There would then, at the end, would be word problems, so that now they're applying the real world scenarios.